What on earth has happened today? We've had NIP 2-0 Astralis, the 18th team versus the number 1. The fuck? Okay, so I've always thought NIP had one of the teams in the top 15 with the most potential. They had all these players have the potential for superstar, to be a superstar, to be the main part of the lineup. You got Nork, superstar, Orpa, Rez, superstar, Rifler, especially on overpass. Hampus is an amazing IGL. I've seen him have more than enough highlights and clips. Plopsky, strong rifler. And then I'm forgetting somebody, I think. No, I got everybody. Okay. And then we have, of course, ZTR. ZTR is the new kid on the block, 17-year-old that everybody is going to be talking about. Didn't appear in any of these people talking about prodigies for the future. Nobody talks about ZTR. But I think we're gonna start talking about ZTR. On his debut match with Young Ninjas, which is the one I covered on this channel, my first video, the one that has hundreds of views. He went 35 and 15, 1.92 rating, 1.92. Wasn't quite so good this time, but he had so much impact. From the eye test, I'd say it's more impact than Norg. That's what it felt like watching it. I mean, statistically, clearly not, but that's what it felt like. His CT sides were exceptional. 1.31 over both the maps. They're literally the same. They're amazing CT sides. 14-11, 16-9. He's a big part of the reason Nip won. What I'm surprised about is Nip's return to form. They did not look good in CS Summit, but they've come here and they've just beaten Astralis 2-0. And it wasn't just that. It's the fact that Nip had done their homework. Their overpass T side was fantastic until the last 5 rounds, but I mean that happens with Astralis sometimes. Yeah, so let's look at. I'm just gonna put this bracket that I predicted for Group A back on screen. So I did believe in NIP. I didn't think they'd win. I think you're stupid if you predicted NIP to win, especially if you predict them to beat Astralis. This was just me, them coming through the miracle run. I expected them to gain for. I believe in ZTR. I believe he's a great player. I did not expect them to do it in the first match for Astralis. Doesn't it feel familiar? A new player playing against Astralis as their first match. It happened with Bit. Something I wonder if teams do it to catch them off guard. Can Astralis react to this? To pose an extra challenge for Astralis. And yeah, considering NIP looked shit on Inferno in the last tournament, they looked pretty good today. And that is a world-class Inferno, to be honest. Yeah, so 16-13s on both maps. That's not even overtime on either, and not even a third map. That's pretty extraordinary. So what we're going to be looking at is the overpass T side from NIP, which they won 8-7, which I personally think was amazing because you just felt, wow, especially in the first 8 rounds, that Astralis are getting brained on. Okay, so let's switch over to the game. Hopefully that can all be seen. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So for pistol round, we drop. I didn't see the pistol actually. But we drop 3 into monster. Going short actually. 1 con. Nice entry. These win a 4v4. Nades from Astralis always good. Not gets killed there. They get the bomb down. It's a decent pistol. It's a good read from them, I guess. Astralis have been pushing short, I think, from their previous games I've watched, and they've countered that. So you could just tell already that they know what's about to happen. And they're ready to They've done their homework. They want to win this. And surely they not do anything. Okay, they don't do anything. And yeah, I turn my game back to English if anybody has noticed. It's ZTR. Oh, I'm really like. Thing is, I wanted to look at all of the maps, both the sides, but then nobody would watch that, so I had to pick one that I was most impressed with, and it's not the one that ZTR performed best in, which is a shame. But he had a couple of impact rounds. So here, NIP against, they know it's forced by Astralis, are confident, #1 team in the world, they're going to force. And they go for the contact bathrooms. Maybe not the best idea against pistols. Shittier guns, but it works. Jumping Mac 10. ZTR hoovers up both those kills. I think ZTR is just born to be a star player. What gets that one? But they're all quite low. This is why, like, at this point, you're worried. For me, it's not necessarily who wins the most rounds. It's the way they win the rounds. Are they dominant? Are they, like, it's like, do you feel like that's reproducible? If you run the same round again, just relying on people's aims is to change what happens. Would you win? And in a round like this, I think Nip would win 80% of the time, the way they played it. But they came off particularly bad in this one, although it wasn't a big deal in the end. Zipix is just putting enough doubt in their mind. And it's pretty safely played. So yeah, it's a little bit scrappy. No flashes into key places, especially when Blopsky had his shadow showing. Yeah, I think. But I mean, I can imagine they're just insanely nervous. And Astralis really should be insanely confident. Although the one thing I expect from Astralis is to treat everybody with respect. That's how they've got so. That's how they do so well against teams they should beat. How they beat teams they should beat. So this round, Hampus goes in with the USP. Fair enough, gets the info, knows there's quite a lot on B. But then Nip played this very Swedish style of, yeah, we'll just chill. And Astralis make the right read here. They bring 4 back onto A, or 5. I mean, all the pressure from B's gone. Hampus has got all the info and they're waiting, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Makes more sense if you want to go back to B, but Astralis have the perfect read. Which Astralis will have sometimes. Doesn't matter what you do. ZTR gets 1. Second from our Mac 10 boy. And the USPs do a little bit of shit. Before cleaned up by Blopsky and Nork. So again, it's one of those rounds that you're like, but in my opinion, if you ran that round another 5 times, NIP would win it. I think 4 or 5 out of those 5 times. So, I mean, the USPs have to get lucky to hit those shots. Not lucky necessarily. I don't think there's a much necessarily. I don't think there's a high level of luck. But here, ZTR's gone down by this. This is the kind of thing that they would have. I think they've read into really well. Obviously, ZTR gets caught out here in the first time. But after this, I think they react superbly. And this is the first time I think they. So Hampus has read this. He knows what's happening. He knows. He's done his homework. He knows what angle Zipix is holding. He knows exactly how to counter it. If you go all the way back here, you cannot be seen. And I think he's telling his teammates exactly what to do if they come down. Because look, who is it? It's 6. Nope, it's not 6. 7. Oh, it is 6. Okay. No. Yeah, he's telling them that's exactly what you have to do. And then, I want to catch this. So the flashes come in. And I don't know why he's being weird, but he's caught him off. And that's they know what's happening there. They know the angles that Zipix is on. They know how to avoid it. They know exactly what to do. It's amazingly played. I know I didn't show it very well. It's round 4 for anybody that cares, but if you go and watch the stream, Blast showed it from Zipix's perspective, and you cannot see them at all until he gets peaked. I love Hampus on entries. I mean, this is scary. They got 4 in B. And yeah, it's just unlikely that you win this. Magis, strong rifler, they don't take B particularly well. We're back again, next round. This time ZTR's got a bit of support, chilling a bit in Monsters. There's quite a lot of direction coming in from LIP. And to be honest, Astralis haven't read it too well. Rez is creating a bit of noise, but it's not a lot, to be honest. Not shooting all everywhere, he's not... I mean, the spamming's happening on B, and yeah, they've got 4 up here. Or is it 3? No, they got 4. Oh no, one's in con. Okay. But still, then contact out. Oh, you should have spotted Zipix head there. This is where it's less good. This is where if you put Astralis in this spot, they would have won the round. Because they would have used their flashbangs. They would have used their flashbangs properly. And this one's a shame for Nork because he gets baited so well. He's aware of that as a possibility, but Magis takes his attention. This is what Astralis is so good at. This is why they barely lose any 2vx's, because they know, or XV1s, because they're so good at putting pressure on. They bait you out and then they shoot you from behind. Like, what are you supposed to do? Because you got to look at the guy that's shooting, right? But meanwhile, the guy that's not shooting is the one that's about to kill you. It's a good mix of spamming and holding. Oh shit, I know what happens here. Hampus again has a read. He knows they're going to pull out some aggression. And he just executes Glaive. He's countered it perfectly. He's sat behind the thing. He's waited. Like, even if Glaive doesn't make a sound cue there, he peeks. That's a one jewel, and Glaive does not think anybody's there. It's just really strong. And because of how scrappy the rounds have been, they don't have a lot of money. They're taking... It's a weird investment. Hampus and ZTR with nothing. Device did not look good at the start of this game. Did warm up into it. That's excellent. They know what's happening. They know the bait setups. They know the orbs fired and run away. And then... Oh, this is one of the best rounds from ZTR. Look at this. What a shot. Needed to be traded. And another good kill. Like, these are kills that had to happen. If Device gets back with the ult, even though he's not got a, even though that's his first kill in the game, it's still scary. And that's 1 round for an AP. Like, you could put this game down to Astralis not being on top of full form at the start of the tournament, like always, but no, it's not that. It's NIP stepping up. It's NIP looking good. ZTR having an immense impact on both Inferno and overpass, especially as CT holds. But some of his entries were good. I don't know what exact role he's supposed to be playing, but I think he's looked good when he's been entering. That's something that happens when you're playing against Device. Yeah, it kind of sucks for them here because they're playing with their eyes closed. Although Astralis don't normally go for these long flanks, so I think they're pretty confident. And to be honest, alone was showing the Astralis T side. I think their T side had some definite piece of shit in it. Some of the rounds were awful. They'd like sit outside of B the entire round. They had no info, even though NIP weren't pushing. They were scared, but to go back and get the control, and they just didn't take control well. And then when they did, they got picked off one by one. So I think that's strong from NIP. Rez is going in first. Oh, this is a ZTR round, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. Oh. His entries are so crisp and clean. Oh shit. It's a good clear up, clean up. Bit scary based on the time, but they get it done. And then Nork's left in a 1v1. I didn't see this shot. I haven't seen this replayed. Oh, it's scary, really. He's on a left eye peak. He's close to the angle, but he pulls it off. And that leaves us, like, these are good rounds. ZTR off here, putting pressure on B. I think it was on the rounds they lost that I don't think their con control was great. Klopsky with a nice kill, Nork holding playground. Device likes to peek that. I mean, you could say that's kind of lucky, but has to hit the shot himself. It's just cleaned up. The Apex usually over there towards the bottom side of B. This is Hampus here countering something. He knows something's about to happen. Whenever Hampus thinks something's about to happen, he puts himself in a place to counter it. He's been over at Playground. He's been here. Such a good, strong IGL. And here, this is one of the ideas that I think Zipex or like Astralis have pulled off before. Zipex goes for the spam. It's about to happen. Zipex throws this molly, but he knows what to do. He doesn't run away. He still smokes it because he knows that makes it difficult for Magis. And while he's baiting them, they know what's happening. They know when to push. And he does this. He just dismantles the entire team. So not only is he countered Glaive pushing at the start, this thing this strat which they've clearly done before, he knows about, and Hampus is taking control of the round. Hampus is such a strong IGL, and he often takes things into his own hands to deal with them. Oh. Dupree thought he got away with that. Hampus repositions. Dupree's ready for it, of course, because he's a good player, but look at that headshot. And then they're all sitting, and like Hampus is like, fuck it, 7k in the bank, let's go hunting. Let's get that ace. Bit deep on that, but look at that shot. Oh, see, it's not just ZTR that comes into this game with good form. They all have good form. Rez was, like, surprisingly, Rez was bottom fragging, and if you can win, I think Rez was bottom fragging, but if you can win with Rez at the bottom, then you have a good recipe for success, because Rez is normally one of the players that has to step up for NIP to win. And I think if they can get this star power in somebody like ZTR's hands, like, you need a star on a team. You cannot. Your good positions have to be given to somebody, and they have to be ready to step up. And ZTR has been stepping up. His hold's been good, and his entries have been good. I think they get one more, and then they shit it. Scary throwing smokes there. Like, Hampus knows. He's got to throw that smoke, but he's also got to throw it quickly because he knows that there's one on site, and this is slightly too quick. He's on fire. He's just like rolling in. And now ZTR probably shouldn't be so far back with the bomb. He could have been peeked from con. Not sure they came up from con this round, but it doesn't matter in the end. Then it's a 1 round. So that's the main bulk of them winning. Like, this bit is harder to watch. It's just like the ideas are good, but Astralis have adapted and they're now ready to counter. They realise that their ideas have been read into and they come in with some new stuff. Oh shit, I've missed everything. So here they have a new setup to do 3 pushes up. He's a bit more careful than Glaive, who runs up a couple rounds ago. And this time Hampus, I mean, he's in the right place. Feels like he's read it, but doesn't hit the shots. And now they're left in a 3v4. They're very far. Look at this, they have no map control. By 1 minute mark, they have T-spawn. Which is scary because there could be somebody pushed up. ZTR's not cleared it, I don't like that. But I guess the smoke. And Glaive knows what's happening here. This is one of the rounds where Glaive reads it so well. You're running into a nade, and Zipix has another hold. ZTR has the right idea, but Glaive has a better angle. And then Glaive just shots him down, I think. I think this round's all Glaive. Yeah. It's just... So, the thing is, in that site, they're slow, they're stagnant, they're not moving, and they're stuck there while Astralis rotate in. Not that they're needed to rotate in, because Glaive just does all the damage, but... Here they seem ready to counter. Like, Rez has received a tag, which is unlucky, especially because I think Device was blind in this particular engagement. Swedish defaults. They've just lost ZTR pushing through. They haven't. This is disgusting. There's no thought that there could be somebody in top bathrooms. You know, Popsy's not going to win this. So they come in really strong. They clear everything, and they have good ideas. They know when Astralis is going to pull something out. And now, that means Hampus knows. Look, he's short, where the short push comes in. This time he can't counter it, and... I don't know, maybe he's got too much pressure on himself to counter these. Maybe he knows them better than the rest of his team, but he's in the right place. He knows what's going to happen. It's either short or A, that they push, and he's always there. And now this leaves him in a not nice spot where they're picked apart. This is what happened to Astralis a lot of the time. It's the issue with the default on overpass. If you lose the fights, it just crumbles. If you win the fights, it cascades into a 1 round, but this game it just crumbled for these teams when it didn't work, and it's just over. And yeah, you can recognise now from LIP's point of view that stuff's not going right. What comes out here? ZTR's holding Monster again. Where's Hampus? He's read it right again. He knows. He gets legged. Backs away from the nade. There's that land. There's a bathroom smoke for anybody who wants to note that down. And now this is a scary spot when you have, when you have that. when you have half of toilets. It just feels like maybe they could take it a bit slower. They've got time. Although speaking of time, that's what fucked Astralis most of the series. It wasn't their brand of CS that they played. They were playing slow CS. Last 20 seconds, they'd pop onto a site, and it didn't feel like them. And this is, I don't want to watch this. I know. I've seen this exact thing happen so many times. That boost. I mean, fair play to Astralis. They pulled it off in the second half, and it worked for a kill. Worked for the round, I guess, but it's just, it never seems to have that much success. And then he's read it right, except he can't out aim the AWP. Device isn't flashed when he peeks, and he loses the duel. So although these second set of 5 rounds are worse, it's really what NIP brought at the start of the half that made me believe. Because I was not sure about them as a... I thought they would be a very scary... it was going to be a very scary year for them. CS Summit looked awful. They didn't have a great into 2020, but I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt, see how they came into 2021. The answer is not very well. And then they hit this. They number 18th team of just the worst rank they have been in like many years. Switch back to HOTV. It's a strong game they've played there. I don't know why my internet's so slow sometimes. What was it? It was something about how Ninjas. There we go. This is the worst they've ever placed since June 2017. Not ever, but since then, which is quite bad for the team, really. But if they keep up this performance, ZTR is clearly a good addition. He's a superstar player. Yeah, they have potential. Now, one of the things I just wanted to look at was tomorrow's matches again as normal, but I want to look at the map pools. Okay, oof, it's not great for them, is it? Okay, so I don't know why NIP banned out today. Probably, what did they ban out? They banned you. Okay, but they're not normally afraid to play nuke, so I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't ban nuke next time. Although they clearly are not looking to play it. Was okay. So Big are going to ban Train, which leaves them the opportunity to pick overpass if they want to. They should probably take that. Or they could pick Inferno. It's really 50-50. I don't know how they're going to play. You can't judge it. They've played 2 maps. What was the third going to be today? I know I've just flicked back and forth between this page like 6 times, but okay, they left Train. Okay, so they're willing to play Train. So I guess we'll have to see. But if any NIP played like that, it's gonna be difficult for Big. So I'm gonna go do tomorrow's predictions now. I'm gonna go NIP 2-0 v Big, Astralis 2-0 v OG. Even though Astralis did not look great today, OG shouldn't be an issue. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an NIP Astralis rematch in the grand final. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed looking at ZTR, looking at the new NIP, a strong version of NIP that just beat the #1 team in the world. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.